Hey, so this is Tony Chitanich. I'm down here at Redondo Pier, born and raised here. And I'm always passing up this guy who's on the bench here at the traffic circle, and I always say hi. He's articulate and stuff like that. So I asked him if I could share his story, and he said, yeah, why not? I said, maybe it'll help other people. Maybe people can relate to it. And like my dad always said, son, you're 3 paychecks away from being homeless. So here we go. So what's your name?
My name is Alexander.
Alexander,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm here in Redondo.
Where are you from? How about that?
I'm from, I was born in Torrance.
Torrance?
Yeah.
Local boy, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, South Bay,
Yeah.
We have our own beach over there, and it's nice, but I mean, if the economy doesn't work out for you,
So,
it's-
I'm just bringing these questions up.
yeah.
Like, what were you like in high school? Did you play sports?
I played
Did you
video
skate?
games. That's what I did. I played video games and I played music. That's it.
All right.
I
What
just-
instrument did you play?
Guitar, and then I picked up singing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then when you graduated high school,
Yeah.
what did you do from there?
I don't know. I just joined the workforce.
Yeah, doing what?
Just a bunch of minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
Just like Vaughn's, Subway.
So your parents, are they still around or no? Or?
Yeah. I called my mom actually earlier today.
Yeah.
So.
And
she
you guys
was,
still have a good relationship?
I hope. I mean, I don't know. I can't make any promises. I mean, every relationship has its ups and downs. You try to find the middle ground.
Yeah. Does she ever try to like how long have you? How do I say this? Been on the streets, I guess. How long?
I don't know. It's probably been close to like 5 to 6 years now.
5, 6 years?
Yeah.
So recent.
Yeah.
Does she try to like guide you and say,
I don't know. I don't know what I mean. If I'm getting too, like,
dude, you can ask me anything. I'm an open book.
I would just say like, I mean, I wouldn't want to overstep anybody's boundaries or anything like that. But sometimes I feel like parents can be a little bit overreaching sometimes.
Yeah.
And like it's like always been maybe a little bit of a complicated problem for you to like find that like level ground where you can sort
Like
of,
leave me alone,
have
but
your
still
own
love me.
personal freedom,
Yeah.
but still respect your parents' like authority and like guidelines. It's like for me,
Yeah.
it's been a little bit
But-
strange to meet sometimes.
Maybe like I'm not Dr. Phil,
Sure.
but maybe you're interpreting her overreaching as overreaching when it's actually like, oh, I want to help my son. He's hanging out on a bench. What can I do?
Yeah, that's the possible conclusion. I mean, at the same time, I feel like you have to like be able to defend your own like integrity.
Or
I
like,
don't know if I can.
so all right, let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
And these are all off the top of my head.
Sure. Yeah.
We
yeah,
didn't rehearse
sure,
this.
yeah.
A lot of people have a conception that a lot of homeless people,
Right.
like they want to be homeless. Like if you want to help them,
Right.
they just want to be homeless.
Right.
Is that true, or do you think deep down inside most homeless people would rather like be in a home?
I've always viewed it as like it coming down to like drug use. Yeah.
You know what's funny is a lot of people. I'm not going to get political, but
Sure.
a lot of people, when you call out that, hey, a lot of these homeless people they have fucking mental problems, and then other people say, oh, you can't say that, when it's like reality, because a lot of these homeless guys down here are fucking yelling at invisible people. They're like, you know what I'm saying?
I hope not.
Dude, that guy that just came up here yells at invisible people. But don't you think there's a lot of mental health issues in the homeless?
I don't know.
You seem like you have all your faculties.
I would say either like drug use or like just bad luck. That would be like my take on the situation. You know what I mean?
So maybe the constant drug use, because I have a friend that
Yeah.
I've seen his mental like state go down because he's just used drugs for so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna affect you.
Yeah.
You know.
Um.
So did you get here partly because of drug use?
Not really. I mean, I would attribute it to more just bad luck. I mean, I was going to say my mother actually always attributed homelessness with like drug use. You know?
Yeah.
So I was a little happy I was able to catch myself by saying like just not necessarily drugs, but like not having the best of you know, a situation to like hang on to. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's when you get to
Yeah.
a certain point, I guess,
Yeah.
where you're at, like I'm assuming you don't have a cell phone, correct?
I mean, I do, but I mean, it doesn't.
But it's
yeah.
hard to like walk into a place and say, "Oh, I'm here to fill out an application." When you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. If you're in a situation where it's like, you know, the like constraints, you know, get tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like you can't, like, get out of it. Then yeah, you're pretty much screwed. You know, and I mean, I guess I hope I never had been in that kind of situation. You know?
So do you feel like, again, I'm just asking this off the top of my head, do you feel as though that you're always like thinking to yourself like, shit, how do I go from here to the next level? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't address it as the next level, but like the right level.
Like, where am I going to get that next opportunity to like just get me out of this little?
Right. My belief is just to I guess stand up and work for it, you know, and like see if you can land it, you know.
So, have you done like, are you good with doing physical labor, stuff like that? Manual labor, whatever?
Yeah, I did a lot of, that's pretty much all I've been doing for like the last 10 years. Or pretty much all I did for the last 10 years.
And what was your last job?
I was like working with I was working near LAX, like as like a parking attendant. You know?
At LAX?
Yeah, like near LAX, like there's parking companies, you know, but like, you know, people go there to park, and then they go on like they park there so they can go,
Like catch a shuttle to the plane or whatever?
Yeah.
So would you park their cars or?
Yeah, just you know,
Remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off when they parked the cars?
I get asked about that a lot.
And they jumped the car?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So what happened with that job, if you don't mind me asking?
It's just one day I just kind of like I couldn't really handle the pressure. You know?
The pressure of parking cars.
It was a pretty the job got pretty stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like break your body kind of stress. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't handle that. You know?
A lot of jobs, like the happiness of your job is sometimes so dependent upon the person that's above you. You know what I mean? Like, are they supporting you or are they making your life miserable?
Really? Yeah.
It's usually because they're insecure.
The social relationships you have to, you know, like be a part of sometimes is like just as demanding, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a tough mix, you know?
So, is this where you, because I've usually seen you here, do you move around or?
I try to get some exercise in this like little square plaza, you know?
Yeah, I've seen you walking around. I was thinking like,
yeah,
that probably looks mental, but actually,
yeah,
it would get pretty boring sitting on a chair. So you got to walk around and do stuff.
It's you know, it's not the most boring, you know.
Yeah.
In the world to sit, you know, you get your fair share of action, all right?
And then another thing, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because you probably know other homeless people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One thing, and I've kind of switched my position because in the past I was always like, oh, this homeless guy, he's fine. But the more as time goes by, you hear these homeless people like pulling out a knife or attacking someone or doing something, and so like I think some people, like especially like women, not to be gender or whatever, but need to approach with caution sometimes, you know.
New numbers released by District Attorney Summer Stephan's office prove just that. Collected over the course of 2 years, they show homeless people in San Diego County are far more likely to commit crimes compared to the rest of the local population. For murder, it's 25 times. For arson, it's 514. Now,
because the mental and the drugs and stuff like that.
Sure. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, anywhere you go, even if you do have like even if you do end up getting a home in like LA or New York, you know, you still have to worry. I mean, just like, like not necessarily worry, but like you gotta like be like intelligent, you know, about your
Yeah.
decisions. You know, you can't just like, I mean, I wouldn't vote for like, you know, like, I mean.
How about the police? Are the police pretty cool or whatever? As long as you're quiet
I
and
like
mellow.
to believe, you know, you can trust the, you know, the police department. You know, I mean, I don't like to believe there's, you know, like.
But they don't just come up and like hassle you or whatever, right?
I mean, I'd rather talk to an officer than not.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? I mean, even if it is, you know, maybe not like the way, like, you would like, you know.
I think the only time they intervene is when they're like yelling at people and, you know, kind of scaring people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, well, you have your fair share of, you know, like conversations, encounters, you know. I mean, the way I see it, if you're respectful about your opinion, then.
So, did you do any college or?
Yeah, I did a little bit of college. I went to, I don't know if you know,
El Camino?
Yeah, I went to Elko for a bit.
And what did you study there?
I was trying to go for math and science, I think.
Math and
Physics, I think,
science? Physics?
Yeah. Physics was what I was aiming for. But, I mean, my job, you know, stress picked up to a level where I think I was...
So you had a job that dealt with math and physics?
Not totally. I mean, I was pursuing, you know, like a degree in physics, you know. But, you know, like, I don't think I was able to handle like the job and like the school load at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't.
Yeah.
Do it, you know?
No, I hear you.
Yeah, it was like I heard about people working like 3 jobs at a time, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna have a problem doing a job, and like I even went back to an old job, so I was doing like 2 jobs in school at the same time. It was like, it's not that bad, but I guess it just slowly kind of, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like cooked lobster, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it hit, and I just...
So hypothetically, if you were like offered a job, you would like, it'd be interesting to you depending on what it was, or?
I mean, you know, like, I don't know if I would go back into that kind of a job again, you know? Like, I wouldn't, I mean, I've been hesitant about...
Like, I've never taken an office job, but I love working physical.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I own a large pressure washing company too, and I love that. I fucking love it.
Sure.
I love the physicality of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't sit in an office all day. No.
I hear you. Yeah. I really just like, yeah. I mean, if you're not built for like a chair, yeah.
Yeah. Redondo Beach actually has one of the lowest homeless populations, I think, on the West Coast. I think Mayor Brand had something to do with that. But like compared to Venice, Marina del Rey, and Santa Monica, like ours is pretty low.
Yeah, they weren't too happy about the you know, the homeless in Torrance, so you know.
Yeah, because
why I'm in Redondo right now, you know, because they weren't too happy about it.
Well, the tents, there was like.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tents in Torrance.
Yeah, no, I was just saying.
And it was coming this direction. They actually, some homeless guys had tents set up on the Esplanade, which is kind of like, hey, like, look at us. Like, that was pretty stupid.
I don't know. I'm not against, you know, people, you know, like surviving, you know, I mean.
No, I agree. But if you want to survive, don't do it on the city's like crown jewel. Like, do it somewhere, you know, tucked away where it's incognito. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And I like debating too. So
yeah.
So tell me why you think like setting up a tent anywhere is just fine. I know you said survival, but you can survive. You know, I don't know what I'm saying. Your tent doesn't have to be like in the middle of the pier. It can be somewhere else. Like if you want,
I mean,
if you want the tent situation to go long or be prolonged, you have to, I guess, not say, hey, look at me in my tent. We're right in the middle of the...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm all for, like, human decency first, I think.
I agree.
I mean, I wouldn't, like ruin somebody's day for doing something like that, personally. I wouldn't, like beat them over a baton with it, you know?
But the problem is, if you have, and this is hypothetical, if you have, you know, the Esplanade is a beautiful piece of real estate, right?
Yeah.
If you have 3 guys that set up tents on the Esplanade, right? And the police let it go, and whatever. All that does is going to attract more, and then after 3-4 months, you're going to have 50 tents on the Esplanade, and it's going to, it's going to be a.
It says, I don't know. I would defend the logistics behind the situation personally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like enforce, like a no camping policy first, I'd rather I would look at the geography. Yeah.
There should be an area. I think Mayor Brand built didn't he build a place where there was little pods?
I have no idea. I mean I wouldn't take a pod, I'd take a tent over a pod first,
Man, let's go ahead and talk about a few things. Let's talk about what I do like about it. What I do like about it is they have services there for the homeless. The hope and the goal is for people to come in, get employment, and then get permanent housing, and then go ahead and boom, get them out and get somebody else in. So that's what the hope of this whole community is.
Why? Pod's like safe. You have a door.
It's not a tent though, it doesn't have the same I guess psychological insurance that
well, the psychological insurance is safety in a pod that you could have your own door and you could lock it and.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the camping instinct away from man. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay. I'm gonna be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push back a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
A tent set up right there
Would you agree?
is not the inherent camping instinct of the human being.
You agree with that?
I mean, camping's in the wilderness and surviving, and that's not. Taking that away is not taking away we've taken away that person's inherent desire to be an outdoorsman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you'd argue the location of it?
Yeah, well, the best thing is to somehow ensure that you don't have to stay on a bench. People don't have to stay in a tent. That there was maybe a facility that, unfortunately what we did with a lot of our homeless people that had mental issues is we put them in jails where they didn't get help.
Right.
What we need is more mental prescriptions for people to help them.
Right.
Jail doesn't do anything for anybody.
No, it doesn't. It criminalizes the whole.
They come out worse.
Yeah, it's the game Monopoly, the board game.
Yeah.
It's doesn't have that jail square.
Yeah.
Where that if you loan it, you gotta. Yeah, it's more like punishment than
Well, it is punishment. That's what it's meant to be.
Right. Yeah.
A deterrent.
Right. Yeah. That's how I see it.
But I think we house more people in jail than all the countries combined, or
I
some
remember
crazy
reading that a while
number.
ago. Yeah, I'm good God, that's fucking terrible. That's terrible. Yeah. I'm it hurt. That's just it got to me. I'm not too cool with that.
Well, it's
what are you gonna do?
it's hard to
ask for the star of the show, and then just not expect.
It's hard to get the right people that can maybe make changes to really care, because those are where the criminals are. So what happens behind the walls happens behind the walls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which sucks, and I'm sure there's been reforms and stuff like that. But I was listening to this podcast the other day where this guy was in jail, and the guards once a week would pick out 2 guys, and they would have UFC matches. They would make the inmates fight, and they would put bets on it and stuff like that, which is terrible. The one thing that broke my heart about 6 years ago, I heard that a majority of the homeless kids, teenagers, are homeless because they are gay or lesbian, and their parents kick them out of the house.
I wouldn't put them over there.
No, 60% of them, because the parents have kicked them out of the house and don't want them back, which I think is absolutely horrible.
LGBTQ youth are 120% more likely to experience homelessness than their heterosexual peers, according to a recent study from University of Chicago. 1 in 4 are thrown out of their homes because their families reject their gender identity or sexual orientation.
But I think it happens more in the Bible Belt, places like that.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of homeless teenagers in the South Bay.
Not anymore. I mean, it's, what can you do? I mean, like you vote for somebody,
Yeah.
and the world goes a different way,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had good luck with politics for the last 10 years. So why should it go another 10 years? I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't keep your eye on something like that,
Eye on what?
you're about
Politics?
to- yeah, or like your country, or like your.
Do you vote?
Yeah, I voted. The last vote I had was for.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Sure.
Because if you say it, half the people watching this are instantly just will judge.
Well, I mean, whatever. I mean,
It's fucking
honesty
stupid.
First, I mean,
It's
if
fucking
you're not willing to
ridiculous.
defend your honesty, then.
I love people of all political influences. I don't care what
Yeah,
they are.
honesty is just as much as a right, I think, as a voice or
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What drives me crazy, and maybe it drives you crazy, talking about politics, is we find out that in the news that I think it was Obama or something, sent $25 billion in cash to it was Iraq, I think, or something like that.
A lot of money.
And it's just like, and all the money we're giving to Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? I heard all the money that's been sent to Ukraine would have bought every homeless person in America a 2-bedroom home. And it's like, fucking nuts, dude. It's like, let's take care of our own people.
The U.S. Senate approved a $95 billion military aid package to Ukraine and Israel. Now here's a small fact just to put into perspective how much a billion is. Well, we know a million is a lot. A million seconds, for example, is about 11 and a half days. How much longer do you think a billion seconds is? 31 years. Over 31 years. That's the difference between a million and a billion. We could have a discussion on justifying the use of American tax money to aid other countries in general, but wouldn't it be more interesting to see how this money could be used domestically to help solve some of America's issues? With $95 billion, the U.S. could end homelessness for every single one of America's veterans. And I mean end homelessness. You can check them out yourself, but we could buy a $300,000 home for each of the 35,574 veterans that are unhoused in America today. And that would just cost about $10.6 billion. On top of that, we could give them each $10,000 to furnish their brand new homes, and that would put us at just about $11 billion. That means we still have $84 billion left to spend. Next, we could give elementary school teachers a $20,000 raise. How many teachers? How about all of them? There's 1.9 million elementary school teachers in the US, and giving them each an extra $20,000 would cost $38 billion. Okay, so now we have $46 billion still left to spend. With tens of millions of Americans suffering from addiction, we could literally build a $50 million drug and alcohol treatment center in each of the 50 states for $2.5 billion. But why just build one? We can build 2 centers in every state, including the District of Columbia, and we still have $41 billion left. And with that money, how about let's try to end child poverty? There is an estimated 10,780,000 children living in the US under the poverty line. So why not give them each $3,800? That would go a long way to addressing the poverty problem facing children in this country. And we're still leaving a few $1 million on the table, but I'm sure you get the point.
Yeah, really. I have no idea. I mean, when it comes to domestic policy versus foreign policy, I have no.
It would just be frustrating.
To.
So, okay, here's a question. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Somebody, or what do you think a government entity could approach you and offer you that you would think, hey, wow, this is a great solution.
After a certain point, and in my life, I mean this most honestly, truly and honestly, there's no offer that can come your way after you've reached a certain point where it's like you've learned so much in the world that the only one who can really look after yourself is yourself. Yeah. And all you can do is like share your experience with another person.
And what you're doing. I see what you're saying. I
know?
see what you're saying.
It seems like that, like, you know, like powerful of a force in a situation where it's like you don't have another option but to just accept what you've like experienced in your life and just like go forward. And if it doesn't work, do this. You know?
I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, and maybe you haven't thought about this, but like, let's say you were sitting here and somebody from the city came up and said, "Hey, what we have now is we have this opportunity for homeless people that we'd like to share with you, and what you'll do is you'll come to the city council, one of the rooms there, and what we're going to do is we're going to provide maybe some. I'm just making this up. We're going to provide some counseling, and what we're going to do is we're going to we're not going to pay you a lot of money, but we have jobs. We have jobs around the city, like pressure washing or stuff like that. And in return, what we'll do is we'll let you get rent at this city-owned apartment building for half the price or something. I'm just making this up as I'm going along, but like,
who wants a mooch off society at the end of the day?
Who wants a what?
A mooch off of society at the end of the day. Okay?
Well, I don't think you're mooching. I think people don't mind paying taxes if it's going to help other people. I think people mind paying taxes when they find out their taxes are going towards transgender studies in Libya or something like that.
Niche it goes into, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever niche or asset, you know, it ends up falling or flowing down. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, if
So you've probably noticed.
Yeah.
They pay a security company.
Right. Yeah.
That walks around the pier at night. Okay.
Yeah.
And they probably get $25 an hour. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I've seen it for years. They don't do anything.
Yeah. You know what
I mean,
I
why can't they give you that job?
really, yeah. I mean, it just comes down to what you want to do. I think, like, if you're not, I mean, you can work the job, but if you like get like nuts, on your shifts, it's like it just feels like as bad as cancer. You know, like, I'm not going to develop cancer for you guys. You know, it's like, no way. Like, I'd rather.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But here's my.
I'm not going to take a hit for that. You know, unless it's like something I believe in. You know what I mean?
Here's my opinion.
Yeah.
Regarding you.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you're articulate.
Right.
You're a good-looking guy.
Sure. Yeah. Most.
You're not whatever. It's like, and again, I'm not Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
But I can feel that you've kind of have given up on yourself a little bit.
I mean, I wouldn't say given up, but I mean, I've gotten a bit like
more
reserved, I think.
Well, I think because I've
gotten more reserved and stronger, to be honest.
Yes, but I think more reserved because, and I try to put myself, when I ask these questions, I try to put myself in your situation. I think doing this day in, day out, kind of not expecting or trying to make that next leap is it's more comforting. It's like, it's easier because you're not in Chicago, you're not in the windy, you're in Redondo Beach, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it's and I'm going deep now, but is there a little bit of a fear of failure, maybe?
I don't know.
Because I was just thinking to myself, like, if I was in that position, like, man, why try? Why try? Because if I try and it doesn't work out, I'm gonna be back here. So, like, why even try? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I believe in you more than you believe in you, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's possible, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's natural. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's a protection method.
I don't know. I mean, I try not to get arrogant, you know. I try to stay confident, you know, and I mean, like...
Confident how?
Like, you know, like health-wise, you know?
Hope-wise?
Wise, like physically wise, you know, like naturally, realistically wise, you know? Like realistically.
Explain. What do you mean?
Like, I mean, just being able to.
You said hope.
Confidence.
Confidence in what?
In like reasoning. I think I vote for myself, like as a rational guy. I think that's where the hope is going to land, with like me saying I can trust my intuition.
Yeah.
Not just instincts, you know, but like intuition, right?
See,
like reasoning, intuition, and reasoning. I think.
And tell me if I'm off base, because
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in your position, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
okay, today's the day I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna I'm gonna brush my hair.
Yeah. Really.
I'm gonna brush my hair. I'm gonna do all this,
Okay.
and I'm gonna change my life. But it's like, when you move from that bench and take those first 5 steps, it's like, okay, how am I gonna change my life? I have no support. I have no family. You know, I have, like, and then it's just a quick turnaround right back to the bench where it's safe.
I believe
You know what I mean?
in the relationship between like a healthy body and like a healthy mind.
That's
you know?
good.
And maybe like if you combine those two, and like I always believe in like, I think like being able to share ideas with other people, and like building them and creating new ideas. And
I'm glad you were cool with this discussion.
Yeah, oh, no, absolutely, yeah.
I think it's awesome.
I totally forgot what I was to say, but like a healthy body and a healthy mind can work together to create like a healthy universe, you know, or like a healthy, you know, like life, I guess, you know.
I agree, but
right?
I agree, but there are people out there
Yeah.
being productive that don't have a healthy mind and healthy body like yours. So wouldn't you say that your healthy body and your healthy mind it's being kind of like, it should be put to like use. You should like be a part of the community, because we need healthy minds, we need healthy bodies.
Yeah. I mean, you could run through another phone probably with the amount of data that we might end up having a conversation about. I was gonna say, you know, like you can have like a healthy universe, you know, like if you believe we're all together in one universe, you know, like you have to do your fair share, I guess. You know?
No, totally. And there's another level to that. Like the Tongva Indians that used to live here, they had a saying that said, human beings are not like the sole whatever. They're only a piece of yarn in the fabric of life, or something like that. That the trees, humans, we're all just together, you know?
I've heard that before. And
yeah, I fucked up the saying.
Yeah, I bounced back and forth off it, you know. It's like I don't totally know how to go about it, you know what I mean?
So are there still assholes that exist that say like, get a job and...
I mean, I think it's maybe a learning experience.
Here,
that
wanna know?
like, really, I don't even know if I can actually finish that. I might not be able to.
Hey, healthy mind, healthy body. I'm giving you a cigarette.
Yeah, no, I love smoke, you know, cigarette, not just like weed. I personally do.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I can't smoke weed. It makes me stupid.
Is that right? I think it's one of the best things in the world, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah.
I'll smoke weed, I swear to God. If I'm on like an island in Fiji with nothing to do for the whole day.
Yeah. Really?
But other than that, if I smoke weed, I just become retarded. But I have friends that smoke weed and they go like big wave surfing and stuff. And I'm like, are you crazy? It's like, it makes them hyper. It does the opposite for me. You ever married?
No, not totally.
How old are you now? What year did you graduate?
I graduated, like 15 years ago? Technically, 07 AD, yeah.
So 19 what? How many years ago? 17?
I'm 33 or 34, 35 now. So
like 2000 or something?
Yeah.
2006 or something?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's your, did you go South High?
No, West.
West. Who was your favorite teacher at West?
I can't remember. I really liked my music class.
Music?
Yeah, I took a music theory class at West. It was really hot.
So if you had a guitar, could you still play?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Were you like decent?
Yeah, I mean, you know, right? I was, you know, I mean, I have to be careful, you know, like you don't want to get so good at something that you end up becoming more of a show off than like a skilled individual, right?
Kind of.
I mean, that's
How many songs do you know? Do you know?
like of other people.
I wish I played an instrument. Like, how many songs could you play?
I don't remember. I mean, I maybe at the most.
Could you play nonstop for 2 hours if you had a guitar?
I could probably do that. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't push that on me. You know. I mean, yeah. I don't think I could totally push that level. You know. I mean.
So are you here most days? Right here?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Just, you know. Yeah, just I stay at the bench just for the most part. I'm trying to get to.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Tomorrow's
I think
Wednesday.
it's Wednesday, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thursday. We be here Thursday?
I might, yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick you up at noon on Thursday.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna go
Okay.
and we're gonna get you a haircut.
Right.
Are you down for that?
I might not need it.
Maybe trim the beard. I'm gonna get you some clothes. We're gonna get you a guitar.
Yeah. Good.
And you're gonna play some songs.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's the first step, right?
I wouldn't push that. I wouldn't get too.
I'd want you to accept it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. I'd rather just stay more, you know, like mellow for the time being. It's spring right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to push too much activity on myself, you know what I mean?
Too much activity.
Yeah, I might get stressed out
If
I
you got
have
a haircut and trimmed your beard.
that huge load just like tossed on me like all of a sudden. Like I might not be able to deal with that like stress level, right? That level of stress. Yeah.
But
Like,
it should be like it should be. Wouldn't it feel like fresh?
It. I mean, you can't just accept like a.
I could buy a new jacket, new
Yeah,
pants.
no, I like these actually. I love my attire at the moment actually. I've got like three jackets, really, and a sweater.
Yeah.
So I can't afford to like sell, you know, like this like get up right now for like, you know, like a quick little like
I'm
jacket. You know?
gonna bring you some clothes. How about that?
I don't think that would be the best idea. Yeah, these feel pretty good, you know, like.
Okay, but hypothetically,
Yeah.
let's say you're playing good,
Yeah,
right? We got
right,
video of it.
Right.
How would somebody say, "Hey, David,
Yeah.
I'd love for you to play on our patio at Hennessy's
Right.
every Saturday and Sunday"?
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You,
I mean,
you have to look presentable, correct?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you had like a place to like, you know, like rest your head like privately, you know, I would argue for that before like, you know, like.
But here's where it gets back to maybe fear of failure, maybe content is where you're at, but like you literally have somebody saying, you literally have an opportunity that's fallen into you, like because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, nothing's going to change.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe us hanging out and going doing these different things and posting some videos, that might lead to something that could change your life. Because it breaks it up. You're doing something different.
Really.
You're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't have to accept it. Just say no. I'm content right here. I don't.
No, I mean it's not a big content about. It's just about like if you can't like mold your life to a certain kind of like demand, I don't think you should like pursue that like avenue. You know what I mean? Like if it becomes that heavy, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, you're kidding.
You're
Sure, I'll
No. I'm trying.
I'll smoke that after the video.
I'm trying to. See, I'm not a psychoanalyst. What's it called? But I'm trying to like think. I'm trying to get in your brain like.
Right.
Okay, maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's fear of whatever. Maybe this is content. Maybe like you're content.
If you enjoy the feeling of warped or you know molded steel, huh? Then more power to you. You know, I mean, to each their own. You know, of course.
And listen to the happiest I've ever been my entire life.
Yeah.
My entire life was I did humanitarian work
Right.
in
That's
Africa,
awesome.
and I was with a group of people.
Yeah.
They would you know, we paint buildings for 30 minutes a day. They'd take pictures, post it. I said, you know, fuck this. So I left the group. I said, this is bullshit. And they said, no one's ever left our group before and whatever. And I was in the middle of Africa, a place called Matera. No white people, nothing. And I walked into a school, and we ended up building big basketball court, because they had this thing called netball, whatever. It's like, it was really awesome. But I was so happy because no one had cell phones, and we laid in sleeping bags like on the field at night. I became like the honorary headmaster of the school because I was doing this.
Pretty awesome.
And but we just stared at the stars, and we talked every night, and I was so happy. There was no alcohol, there was no drugs, there was no parties. It was just people hanging out with no worldly possessions. And
I believe in I don't believe in being materialistic, but I do believe in materials. Yeah.
Explain, what do you mean?
I mean, I believe in, you know, clothes, you know, I believe in shoes, socks, you know,
Yes,
hygiene,
essentials.
you know, shampoo, soap, right? A good shower.
Where do you shower?
I mean, right now I'm literally just like soaking in the salt from the Pacific, you know, and just like, you know, like going one-on-one with the humidity out here in Redondo, you know.
So wouldn't like a hot shower and new clothes feel great?
It would, but when you're layered like this much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of need the layers as opposed to like something fresh, you know?
So if I replaced all those with new ones,
I probably wouldn't feel too hot, too good about it.
because those are comfortable.
They fight the cold. Yeah.
I mean, new clothes could fight the cold.
Yeah, but you're not going to get the same amount of wear. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be easier. It's going to be tougher because it's not like it's not gonna kill you. That's what I say. You're like stripping a man of like his last. Like,
But it's not your
legs.
last.
Huh?
So David, I started this whole thing. Remember before I recorded, I said, look,
Yeah.
out of all respect, this,
Yeah.
you know, we don't have to do this, whatever.
Yeah.
But from what I'm gathering
Yeah.
is like, you have a mental block of moving forward. It's like, how do we break that block? You know, how do we get past that?
Yeah,
Unless you're content with where you're at.
I don't think I have a mental block. I think I'm more.
No, I think there is a mental block.
Do you really is?
I'm talking. We're not friends, but I'm talking to you like as a friend. Like if we were friends,
Sure. Right.
I'm like, here's a guy.
Right.
He has an opportunity here, but he's saying, I don't. You know, I believe in hygiene. I believe in cleanliness, but I don't want to accept a hot shower from you. I don't want to accept new clothes from you.
Yeah.
It's just there are oxymorons going on everywhere. You're blocking opportunities to. And I'm sure people, like, if I post, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Tony, you're an idiot," blah 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 blah. But I'm just telling you, like, if we were friends, I'd be saying, like, David, come on, bro. You're a good-looking guy. You're articulate. You seem nice. You seem smart. It's you're better than what's going on, but you're not allowing yourself to take that next step. And maybe, like I said, maybe it's a fear of failure. Maybe it's, hey, this is comfortable. No one's bothering me.
Right.
I have no expectations. I have no boss. I have nowhere to be. I don't have to, you know, play the guitar properly. I can just chill, you know. And if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. I mean, but if there, you know, if 60% of the time you're frustrated with where you're at, then you're going to have to take the chance or take the leap or whatever and say, you know what, I'm going to accept this because it may lead to better things, you know?
I think if you're here in this world, I believe it's like you're right that you should be able to have, you know, 100% complete control over the course and direction of your life, like whichever way this world goes. It's your power as an individual to say, if the world's going this way, I have the power to go that way, you know, as much friction as it creates, you know, until it bothers somebody else, and then it's like, then yeah, maybe I'm maybe doing something wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but would you say that somebody in your position has more freedoms and abilities to, I forgot how you worded it, than a person that maybe works and has a job and has the freedom to say, hey, I want to go to El Segundo right now. Okay, I'm going to get my car and go to El Segundo.
Yeah, I mean, a job should give you money, you know, so you can, like, exist, you know, and not, you know, like, cry yourself to sleep every night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I've had my fair share, you know what I mean?
And look, if you look at divorces,
Yeah.
they're all over financial. It's all financial
Is that right?
shit.
I have no idea.
It's all financial. And I'm just trying to figure out like what it would take to get David to take the next step.
Right.
You know?
If you can't make that,
Like
if you don't see the step that you need, you know,
well, you're looking right at it.
you know, I mean, sometimes you just need like a nice like little like moment, no matter how many moments I think it takes.
Well, it's nice is you know my name, I know your name.
Right.
So we'll always say hi to each other. I'll ask you how you're doing. I'll bring you some food.
Yeah.
But there was a YouTube video I saw a couple years ago. Same situation.
Yeah.
And the guy videotaping took the guy, got him a haircut, new clothes, and he ended up he got a job at a construction company, and like 3 years later he was like running job sites, you know, was doing great and was happy and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then you can come back and say, well, he's got bills and responsibilities and all that.
I mean,
but
if you don't know how to manage your life, you know, no amount of paper is going to be able to, like, if you can't.
But he turned his life around because he accepted like a little help, which turned into a lot of stuff. And you know what? You can poo-poo the like responsibility and money, evil, all that stuff. But there's something that we get as humans. You talked about it earlier, the whole camping thing. There's something we get, like my pressure washing company. When I pressure wash a place, I don't leave till it's done because I feel good. It makes me feel good when I do a job right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
See, it
when you accomplish something.
Yeah, it enters your body like it's like.
Yeah, and when this guy, he runs job sites, so he's like, man, I just ran this job site today. I got that shit built, If you go home feeling like, man, I did stuff today. I feel like, I accomplished some things today. I felt responsible. I felt like I've contributed, you know? Like, people haven't, it feels good to accomplish tasks, you know? And when you accomplish little tasks, it's easier to accomplish bigger tasks. There's an old saying that the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, you should make your bed, because making your bed is easy and it can be the first task that you complete at the beginning of your day.
Absolutely.
If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
But it gets you into the
if you want to talk
routine.
religion, that's where you go. Your bed, not your. Gosh, right?
Yeah.
Your head. That's how you get crazy, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
I know. I figured it out, right?
All right. So no haircuts or nothing on Thursday. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to leave you my number if you change your mind.
Yeah, I mean, it might not help because I don't have a.
You know what? If you want something bad enough, you can find a phone. Right?
I mean, it's
because I want you to have my number because maybe someday, a week, a month, 2 months, you're sitting there and you're like, and you're sitting there and you're like, holy shit, like I should call that guy because
Right.
he was actually like reaching out and trying to help.
Yeah.
You know, I want to change my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that guy.
Yeah, okay.
And if you call me, I'll be there
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I will help you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're a South Bay local.
Really? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, good.
very local.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice place to be a good guy. Hopefully for the future. You know what I mean?
All right, dude.
Yeah.
Give me a hug.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. You're a good guy, David.
Yeah.
I'm going to go write down my phone number. I'm going to give it to you. I want you to keep it.
Okay.
And is there anything you need, like sleeping bag or anything?
Probably not. I have a blanket that I'm probably gonna throw on myself tonight.
Yeah.
Probably get some warmth.
Yeah.
Until the morning, until the sunrise, and then I'll be up and about again, getting some blood, bone, and muscle going.
Dude,
Okay?
you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Does like I'm a beach boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel good to sit in the sun and
Oh, it
let
does,
the
yeah.
sun like
As long-
give you
as
that
long as
vitamin
like
D?
as long as like it doesn't like the sand can get like phenomenally fucking hot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
lots of
yeah.
times, where it's like it. I feel like a roast, like a rotisserie
Yeah, yeah.
chicken sitting on the sand, or like laying down on the sand sometimes. Yeah.
You know the
Like, I
craziest.
turn into a brownie in like 1 second.
You have dark
I'm like-
skin.
I
What
mean, yeah.
nationality are you?
Romanian.
What are you?
Romanian.
There you go.
Yeah. So like European, Eastern European.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Rome,
Oh.
ancient Rome.
The,
Yeah.
the absolutely
Yeah.
craziest thing I saw during COVID,
Yeah.
COVID was
Yeah.
the police and I think the Coast Guard. There was a guy on
Yeah.
a paddleboard
Okay.
paddling out in the ocean by himself,
Okay.
and they fucking pulled him in, gave him a ticket, all that stuff. Wasn't supposed to be out there. It was just like,
So I gotta take out a paddleboard.
yeah,
It's a
it's
joke?
you know, everyone that grew up in the sun and the beach, we kind of have like like something's telling us inside that sun is good.
God,
You know what I mean?
taking on a paddleboard
Yeah, it was like
for sure.
a bad thing. Yeah,
over here.
yeah, it's
You gotta
crazy.
do it. That's
But like
terrible. Right.
now it's
No,
now it's turning out that like sunlight like was killing COVID. It's like
during
it was-
COVID, is that what happens?
well,
Or,
no, it turns out like the research and stuff shows that sunlight is the best thing to like knock that shit out.
On light as medicine. But to summarize very quickly, we know that there is a seasonal variation in COVID-19, which is related to sunlight and probably less likely related to humidity or temperature. That vitamin D is associated with both sunlight exposure and better outcomes in COVID-19. Could it be a marker for something else that's in the sun? We know that sunlight exposure is now known to produce melatonin right where it could be beneficial in COVID-19, which is in the mitochondria. And we know that the ACE2 is directly related to oxidative stress in those cells, which could cause problems with thrombosis, which we know is involved in the mortality of patients with COVID-19. And we know that near-infrared radiation in the daytime, along with no light at night, both ensure that mitochondria are bathed in the health-producing melatonin and that reduces harmful reactive oxygen species. And so what should we do?
But they were keeping us indoors. They were doing everything opposite of what we should have been
right?
doing.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where
They were
we're
keeping
at.
us unhealthy indoors
yeah, really.
when we should have been outdoors at the
Right.
beach,
Yeah,
getting the sun.
yeah.
All right, is there anything you would like to say to the general public?
Probably not.
Any friends from South High you want to say hi to?
Hi to, I guess, Torrance. I guess how they're doing.
Torrance?
Yeah.
Who was your best friend in high school?
Oh man, I don't know.
Who was your gaming buddy?
Well, I had internet friends on the internet,
Yeah.
so I had just a bunch of
So, okay,
Yeah.
here's something.
yeah,
Did you do you think
yeah.
I can't believe I keep coming up with these questions. Do you think, because I restrict the amount of time my kids can play on the fucking video games.
Yeah,
Do you think, because it sounds like you were a gamer,
right?
do you think that lack of being social and doing all that and staring at your keyboard
Right. Yeah.
fucked you up a little bit?
I'd like to say I was able to like not get hit by that kind of an influence,
Yeah.
or not be affected by that kind of,
But it just sucks you in. You become like a.
Technology can be as addicting as a drug. I would give you that final.
It's crazy. What's crazy is
I wouldn't. It's if you want to talk about darkness, and like dark paths. Yeah.
Well,
tech is like one thing you never like play with.
Listen to this.
Like, just like ruin your life. In
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And I believe Bill Gates did not allow their children to have cell phones, iPads, nothing until they were like 14, because they knew the fucking effects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, these parents, it drives me crazy when you see like there's like a 1-year-old and he's just staring right at a tablet to like shut him up, and it's just horrible. You're just frying that kid's brain.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. You don't want to make that kind of mistake.
My kids play ice hockey, so
Yeah.
I let them play their
That's
video
awesome.
games.
Ice hockey. Why are you kidding? Anyway, for sure. Yeah, it's just as terrifying.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I
physical.
don't try not to get too chicken with NHL business stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Like that's like the Italian mafia. Like if you chicken, you're dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no way. No.
Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Last psychological
Yeah.
question. And be honest, and maybe I'm trying to think ahead. Maybe you're gonna say, "Gee, I haven't thought about that," because you've already trained your brain to be content where you're at. But here's the question: where do you see yourself in 6 months, 1 year, and 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 6 months?
Let's see. 6 months. Hopefully getting back on the right foot. Hopefully sort of like finding my way back into the city I was born in. I was
Back into
born
Torrance?
Yeah. Like that like West Torrance neighborhood.
Like
sort of a local familiar there.
like in a little apartment, or the same thing, just
like
over there.
Hopefully, like in like a house.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
or like, I mean, not the apartments there aren't bad. I mean, like the prices were like going like lifting off like rocket ships.
Yeah.
Like they were like reasonably priced from like $1,000, like
Yeah,
$1,000,
yeah.
But they hit like 1.5, like 2 in like 1 or 2 years, and I was like, sort of I was like, I'm not like totally brushing it off, with like a cold shoulder, like looking the other way. I'm like, yeah.
So let
sort of high, but like,
let's say your answer pertained to. I'm gonna change the question. Where do you see yourself in 1 year? And where you see yourself in 1 year is in Torrance, in
hopefully not.
maybe renting a house.
Hopefully not. Yeah, right, in a house or an apartment.
Hopefully not here, right?
Hopefully not like on a bench, Like, I mean,
Okay, so
I'm not complaining about it. Like, it's like the bench is better than concrete.
I know, but David, like,
Yeah.
to have a goal to be in Torrance in 1 year, right? In a house, apartment, whatever. To have that goal, but not to take steps to get there is just a pipe dream, I guess. Like, what I'm saying is, if you want to get there, you have to ask yourself every day, like, what am I going to do today to get myself to that point? Even if it's a small step.
Don't give in to evil and darkness.
I know, but David, what I'm saying is, I like your goal.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do to get to that goal? Because without doing the footwork, it's verbal diarrhea.
If you don't find the seat you feel comfortable sitting in, then you don't take any of them.
Wait, say that again.
If you don't feel comfortable with a certain seat, or like a certain position in this world, like for a certain spot in this world,
Yeah, but what you said, your goal, right?
Yeah.
What you said is very enlightening, because what you see as a goal, what most people see as a goal, is something that is an accomplishment, is something that's better where you're at. So Your inner brain is telling you,
Yeah.
hey, I need to get off this bench. You know?
If you don't like the package something comes with, then you shouldn't take it. That's my take on it. Like,
But David, you have. I'm sorry to bust your balls a little bit, but you have to. You know, forget the daily stuff. Like, okay, this week, what am I going to do to get to that house in Torrance? You know, you have to say like, you know, I'm going to brush my hair. I'm going to go get 5 applications. I'm going to call that Tony guy. I'm going to go to Goodwill and see if they have a guitar. I'm going to. You can't be doing the same thing because you're not allowing yourself to take opportunities. You're blocking those, but you do have a goal. So I think you're fighting yourself. You know.
Gosh, I hope not. I mean.
No, you are.
I don't totally want to believe that.
But you have to mix it up and try new things to get to your goal because what you're doing is not working.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't think it's totally failing. I don't totally.
All right, David. How is it not failing?
I don't think it's.
You're healthy, your mind, but
yeah, I mean that's the way I see it. If you're healthy, I believe you can accept any challenge in the world.
But you can't pay rent or a mortgage with your health or your mind. You need currency.
Yeah, that's true. But if you don't agree with then the economy, then I'd rather take health over a bad economy. That's my.
Yeah, but you can't let an economy.
I wouldn't sell good health for a bad job. I wouldn't take up a job I would probably end up dying in one day. Like I would literally, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd probably.
I don't think you like working.
No, I don't. If it's something like I agree with, you know, like.
Like what? Give me 2 examples of a job you would agree with.
I mean, you have to agree with.
Where does cops go?
Like with the.
Tell me your dream job. What's your dream job?
That's a really good question. Yeah.
What is it? Describe your dream job.
I'd be a musician, right?
Yeah. Like doing where? Playing where?
Shows, you know, like in the whole world, you know, not just the South Bay, not just Southern California.
So like a famous musician.
I mean, I don't have to be too famous about it. I mean, I could just, you know, but I mean, like.
Okay, so listen.
Yeah.
That's your dream job, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good that you said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that would be your dream job, then I think we should meet Thursday. I'm gonna bring you.
Don't worry about it. Look, I mean that. Yeah, I'm
gonna bring you a guitar.
Yeah.
And I want to hear you play. All right. It'll give you something to do.
I can't make any promises for you. Yeah. I.
Can you play guitar or not?
Yeah, I can do that.
All
for
right.
you. I mean, I can't.
It'll come back eventually.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can hang out for a bit. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, you know, make any you know, like you know, like you know, contract promises for you or anything like that.
No, I'm not asking for contract promises.
Really?
I'm just like,
Okay. Yeah.
wouldn't that be great if the act of just giving you a guitar somehow led to, in 2 years, you're like playing on stage with somebody
and you can't just be bogged down with like equipment just out of like
bogged down with equipment, a guitar?
In like in the open, you know, like like in the open and the wild, you know, like you're better off like getting either like several, you know, beams, you know, of wood above your head before, like, you know.
No, they have cheap guitars.
Don't go out of your way to make a mess.
I'm not going out of my way.
Yeah.
I love, like, I'm a people pleaser. I love helping people. It makes me feel really good. Like, I'm probably the only guy that doesn't like Christmas. I hate receiving gifts.
It's not right. Yeah.
I hate receiving gifts. I love giving them. I hate receiving them. And they've proven that acts of kindness are contagious.
I hate it when people use that word like lightheartedly.
What?
Like contagious, you know, like love is contagious, you know. I'm like, that's sort of disturbing, you know. Like, I don't want to get the flu, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want another. I have a flu vaccine shot. Like,
Well, the acts of kindness are a good thing if it
yeah, it's
catches
nice,
on.
as long as it doesn't become like, you know, like like a virus, you know, or like a disease or an illness.
Yeah,
or,
but contagious is like
I try to be careful with the
if
words,
something
you know?
is positive and
Yeah.
it's contagious, that's a good
If you're
thing.
funny enough with it, you know, if you know how to throw that word around, then yeah.
But they've proven like
Yeah,
I think they did it on a street or something where
you know,
those cops are checking me out like I'm doing something wrong. Where
not-
where
not.
hold
Yeah, that's
all right, so back to
Yeah.
your dream job,
yeah.
being a musician.
I can't push that just yet. I would.
See, there's that block again.
I don't know.
It's all right, baby steps.
Yeah.
Because this conversation might like
it might.
you might think about it over the next month.
Yeah,
You know?
it might spark an appropriate note. I guess it might kickstart something positive.
You've heard of Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. He learned to play guitar, and he played on the street corner. I think
Wasn't he like a YouTube star that like made it into? Was he one of those?
somebody
guys?
recorded him,
That's all right.
and it went from there.
Right.
Became one of the most influential artists ever, and ended up becoming a rape victim of a black rapper. P Diddy. Yeah, he's all fucked up. He's all fucked up in the head, man.
P Diddy or Bieber?
P Diddy like groomed Justin Bieber. He like lived at his house for a little bit, like that other I think Usher.
Right.
Whatever. P Diddy was a bad person.
Yeah, right. I thought it was. Are you sure it's not?
Justin Bieber, right?
There's P Diddy and there's
Puff Daddy, same person.
I'm thinking R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, he's a rapist too.
P Diddy. Wait, I remember reading. I remember reading that. I didn't.
Yeah, you
believe
probably
it.
haven't seen it in the news. It's
No,
all
I haven't
recent
believed
stuff.
that. I think he's innocent. Do you think he's guilty? P Diddy? Puff Daddy?
Yeah, I mean,
He's not.
there's a video that came out where it shows him just beating the shit out of some chick in front of an elevator in a hotel, and then all these women are coming out like these parties he was having. There's like underage girls that were like flown in to do shit. They were like drugging everyone's drinks so they'd pass out and wake up with no clothes. He had 1,000 bottles of Vaseline at his house when they raided it. Some weird shit.
I kind of liked him. I mean, I know R. Kelly. I had a little, few iffy beliefs about it, but Puff Daddy, I kind of a little bit of respect for the guy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's the worst crew in the world. You know.
Power corrupts.
I hope not. It's that guy. Yeah. I can afford to hit at Mr. Kelly, but Mr. Daddy or Mr. Diddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
P Diddy.
Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong.
The federal
Mario and Bowser. I don't.
They raided his house and everything.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. He's in jail.
Oh, I can't.
Getting fucked up.
This is good God.
Yeah. What's the world coming to, right?
Sort of.
See, there's a positive view staying here. You don't have to hear all the negative, bad shit.
Yeah.
David, you're the man. I'm going to be spending more time at Old Tony's because we've had some issues down there.
Regular mice.
When the cat's away, the mice will play, is what's been going on. Oh, where do you eat? Where do you eat your food?
They have cafeterias in Redondo. It's
like free food for.
I mean, it's relatively free. I mean, you show up, not violent, and you get served food.
That's cool.
That's the way I've learned to be.
What about churches? Churches used to be the.
Well, that's technically what they are. They're like church cafeterias. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? There's one on Avenue C or something, huh?
There's Avenue D, I think.
Yeah, Avenue D.
But if you're too familiar with like PCH, like LBJ's.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So I'm not too familiar with like the religious like institutions.
Yeah.
I've become a little bit with the like half like just like school cafeteria kind of places. You know what I mean?
All right. one last question.
Yeah.
California has spent $25 billion on the homeless situation, and this is like in the last, I don't know, 8 years or something.
Yeah.
At $25 billion, and the homeless situation has gotten worse. And you want me to explain why? All right, you guess, and I'll tell you why.
Why it's gotten worse?
Yeah, and it makes sense when I explain it. All right, so here's what
the economy. I'm sorry. I don't.
here's what's happening.
Yeah.
So they get $25 billion, right? And so they have these people in charge of eradicating the homeless, helping them, whatever. But these people get paid $200,000-$300,000 a year to do this job. So if they get rid of the homeless problem, all these jobs are done, right? So they employ all these people and programs and stuff, but I don't know. It's like, where's the incentive if you're making that much money to eradicate the homeless?
My friend Coleon Noir is a lawyer, and he was in San Francisco talking to them about it. And he was like, what is the problem here? Is it a lack of funding? And this guy he was talking to goes, no, the opposite. The people that are on these homeless commissions, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Mm-hmm. So he shows this list to us of all the people in LA that are making money, they're supposed to be managing the homeless. Some of them are making $250,000 a year. And they're out there, well, we're doing our best to outreach and give them safe crack pipes. Like, it's madness.
People have no concept and no understanding of the situation.
Well, not only that, they have no incentive. The people that are running it, if the homeless problem goes away, they don't have a job anymore. So what are they going to do? They're going to make sure it's manageable. And, well, we need more funding. We're very close to cracking this problem. We're going to need more funding. And they just keep getting more funding.
Mm-mm.
But
That's tricky.
Yeah, it's gotten worse. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's crazy.
No,
Like, look at this up here, right?
I thought the amount of money going into it was a little bit absurd when I first read about it on the internet. I was like, that's maybe a little more money than I feel.
But okay, those are the villages. What's this place up here called? I forgot.
I just call it the pier. I call it the Redondo Pier.
All right, so this.
I've heard people call it the Redondo Landing.
This place up here.
Yeah.
I would say 60% of these offices are vacant, right?
Is that right?
Yeah, are vacant. So, maybe city could trade work for. They have cots in one of these places, or a place to sleep where it's warm and you're safe.
You
And
could definitely turn that into like a little hotel where you could definitely house individuals, or like people like turn it into like an inn.
Yeah.
Like a cheap inn, like should the world turn into like an apocalyptic,
yeah.
like aftermath,
But I'm a big believer in earning what you get, correct?
But you give them a hand up, not a hand out. There's a big difference. And we're just not doing that. You've got to require people to do everything they can do to help themselves, so they, again, observe themselves doing more and more, and they have pride in what they achieve and what they accomplish. And we've gotten away from that. We're not doing that.
But it's
So maybe, off the top of my head, maybe, hey, David, if you could help us this weekend move all these park benches over here because we're having an event, then what we'll do is we'll allow you to stay in this facility for 4 days or something. It's like a gift to the city. The city gives back.
You could mine for gold here in Redondo, and like you could probably charge like a person like a penny for a room overnight. Like or like, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Mining for gold? What are you talking about?
$400 for a room every night. I don't know. You look at it like.
Well, it'd be free. I mean,
Free?
that's an empty building right there. You could put 50 cots in there if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? With well, I'm just saying hypothetically. It's like, you have a homeless guy right here.
Right.
You have, 50,000 square feet of vacancy up here. Maybe there's a way to tit for tat. Hey, we'll put this to good use.
Sure.
We'll help out somebody
I
that's
mean,
born and raised in the South Bay. As long as he does this, we'll do this.
Yeah, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty.
I'm just trying to think outside the box.
Yeah, it's pretty incentivizing, I guess.
Maybe they have a shower. You go and take your hot shower you're talking about. They have a laundry, maybe washer and dryer.
Yeah, municipality, then yeah, you gotta.
You know what? Just talking about this.
Yeah, really.
I'm thinking right now, like, I mean, okay, so I go to auctions, I buy heavy equipment and stuff. And this last auction I went to, they had these, porta potties, but they make porta potties now that are nice, that have showers in them, 2 toilets, stuff like that. Just for the decency, human decency, why couldn't the city put a couple of those inside one of these vacant units so David could go in and get a hot shower?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a puzzle putting all the right pieces together to make something, work.
Yeah, well, it's the government would rather spend the money on. That would be a $3,000 solution where David could actually get a hot shower when he wanted to, or go take a shit in peace, or
see no evil, hear no evil, I guess.
Yeah.
I know.
But on the flip side, maybe that makes you more complacent. Maybe you need to suffer a little to get inspired.
I mean, I'd say I'm past the suffering. I'm all about just the ease now. Like I've had enough of hardship in my life where it's like I don't know if I can handle another brick obstacle in my life.
So are you describing your situation as hardship?
I mean, you'd rather sleep on like a foam mattress, than like something a fucking dude,
Yeah.
Like a welder dreamt up in a crazy nightmare of his.
Does that?
Yeah, really.
Wonder if man, it just goes back and forth. I was saying, wonder if I donated one of those units, but then the city might say, well, it's going to attract all the homeless. So
if you've got a homeless problem, then maybe you should check the management, not like the Greenpeace, the donating center.
But your brain does tell you, like, well, if you make it homeless friendly, then all the homeless show up.
I think people are just homeless are just in a tough situation that I mean,
like you said, drugs, mental.
It doesn't have to go on drugs. It could just be like personal philosophy, just like style. Like if you don't agree with something, then just
Yeah, but back to something I originally said, where I said a lot of people are under the impression that a lot of homeless people are complacent. They don't want help, stuff like that. But like, I think when we started this conversation, that's kind of how it came across. But the more we talked, you kind of let things out to where, actually I'm not complacent. Like it's a hard bench to sleep on. I would like to be in a house in Torrance. It's like deep down inside, I think, there's a better way.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, just whatever you agree with, not whatever somebody else agrees with. There's nothing else to say about it. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. And trying to put myself in your shoes, like, I feel for you. If I was in this situation, personally, okay, I'm not going to give myself credit.
Right.
I'm saying realistically,
right.
I would probably, after a while, tell my brain, I'm going to be complacent because...
No, it's not. You just don't give up, and if you do, you die. There's no other, there's no other, option, And if you're going to go forward, you might as well,
But would you...
A bit of leg room, elbow room,
Would you define turning down opportunities that could further your life as giving up? Because
just say no to the BS, and get straight to the point. There's nothing.
All right, dude. I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna keep checking in on you
For sure.
and keep hammering you because
Good luck.
I feel as though, like, I'm looking at you like as a friend that has all this potential, but there's something like that's blocking you. So hopefully our conversation, you'll start to think over the next month, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Okay, you got it.
I'm gonna bring a guitar. You don't have to accept it, but I just want to hear you play some stuff.
I'll through it. Yeah, I don't mind getting my hands a little wet for you.
What?
I don't mind getting my hands a little, yeah.
It'll be cool. I wish I could play the guitar.
Yeah, we'll hopefully not tear the roof down.
All right, buddy.
Hopefully we won't get that
Thank you, David.
crazy. Alex, yeah, ditto, yeah.
All right, bye bye.
Yeah, Tony?
Yeah, Tony, like the restaurant.
Right.
How's that bread?
I'm going to take a bite out of it.
All right, next time it'll be a steak.